What's up, guys? NottheWinner here, and I just wanted to go over basically a level 25 setup for the Necromancer. I've basically explored the whole map, done a ton of the side quests. Why did I pick up the controller? The hell am I on? I am level 24, not 25, but I already know the final ability I'll be grabbing right here, Supreme Army of the Dead. Basically, if I had 0 mages, 0 skeletons up, then I would be able to raise all my skeleton warriors and mages. In one more level, I also unlock the Golems. Well, at least the quest for Golems. I'm not sure if I'll 100% be able to grab the Golem during this beta weekend, but if it's within the range of where we can travel, I will 100% get it. So right now I got Thorns deals extra, nothing too special there. Consuming the Corpse increases your damage of your next core skill by 9% up to 45%. Distant enemies have 15% chance to be stunned when they hit you, and I deal 42% increased damage against stunned enemies. I'm also running crit strikes, increase my movement speed. I have each time one of my summoning minions takes damage, they also gain increased attack speed. And then also I'm running Blood Surge Nova Echoes again after a short delay, dealing 70% less damage. Now, someone in the comments did mention they were using Blood Surge, and I was basically only using Corpse Explosion at the time. I did end up subbing out the spear that I was using, the Bone Spear, for Blood Surge instead. Blood Surge is healing me for my life when drawing blood from enemies, and then also, each time an enemy's hit by the Surge, I get fortified for my base life as well. So, dealing a ton of damage, surging out additional damage, and then me healing and getting fortified the entire way makes me very, very tanky. And then all the corpses that get created, I just explode them right after. Army of the Dead, bringing back all of my blockers and attackers, is incredibly good. I may be swapping some of my skeletons over to defensive rather than offensive, just to take more advantage of their survivability and just their tankiness while I do everything else. I do currently use Decrepify. I may change what curse I'm using in that slot. That is the only thing that I'm still unsure about because I love Decompose still. Now, someone did mention that instead of Decompose, what were they using? Was it Hemorrhage? Yeah, I believe they said they're using Hemorrhage. I don't see anything wrong with Hemorrhage. I think it's a pretty darn cool one. I was considering trying it out myself for a little bit of time there, but I think Decompose just works best for me. From there, 5 points in Blood Surge here, and then you get the Enhanced Blood Surge into the Supernatural Blood Surge. Paranormal's pretty cool, but I really like getting fortified after healing. Then when you move over here, we're moving down to the next set. I actually put 5 points in Corpse Explosion. I thought that one was a big deal. I actually put the next point over here, the explosion radius increased by 15%, and then 10% increased damage against enemies who are slowed, stunned, or vulnerable, instead of becoming darkness skill and damage over time. I thought it was way more useful, just instant explosion. The damage over time is great because if it does completely stack for everyone that you start, that's a ton of DOTs, but I'd rather just have it hit and finish. I do have Consuming Corpses generates essence. That may be a waste of a stat point, so that may get pulled at a later point in time. And then Skeletal Warrior Mastery, increasing the damage and life of my Skelly Warriors, is definitely useful. The 3 from this might be taken to boost that one up further. And then when we move in here, Decrepify is something that I'm using at the moment, but I could literally pull it off if I don't ever plan to really use it, and then fully focus on maxing out my Skellies. When you come over here, there's tons of cool different abilities that you can go for, but that's the thing, we don't have many points at the moment, so you got to take what you can. And I saw all of these, and I thought that they were cool, but not enough for me to really jump on them, so I put 1 point in this one. Whenever a corpse is formed from your skills or your minions, fortify for 2% base life, so 8 fortify. My minions do half of my killing, and then if I'm not exploding stuff, then I'm using Decompose, which creates corpses. So pretty much I'm always creating corpses, but when it's from my skills. And then we have Army of the Dead. That's my ultimate skill that I'm going for, guys. Calls forth a deep buried undead. The deep buried dead. Volatile skeletons are emerging over 7 seconds, and then they explode on touch with the enemies. Not only that, they have a 15% chance to leave behind a corpse, creating more corpse explosions for myself. And then Army of the Dead, when I get this final skill point, also raises all my warriors and mages, so I have a constant flow of allies. We can't get all the way down here at this point in the game, obviously. But that is kind of the idea of the best build for me at the moment. I've found some interesting things with some of these other setups, but I really think the absolute best is just keeping these armies coming. And like when you're up against a boss and he's cleared out your entire army, just dropping an army of the dead and having a full team again like it's nothing is an absolute game changer compared to trying to run around and survive while using these other abilities. Now, I will say, under the actual Book of the Dead, there's a lot that you can do if you want to like ignore the type of skellies altogether. You can get additional bonuses here, like crit chances increased by 5%, but no longer raise skeletal warriors. There is a skill that's going to buff that up that basically gives you, what is it, 25%? Let's see if I can find it here. Is it all the way down here? No, right? Hmm. I know I saw it. Well, maybe it was a gear piece? I don't know, guys. So I had seen something that basically if you like take off your summons and you can get an additional 20% bonus on them. And I thought that was a really cool idea in terms of like if instead of 5% crit, 25% crit. So I'm not exactly sure what I was reading there. I'll have to look back into exactly where I found that. But it seemed really OP if you set yourself to not have any summons. But I really like the idea of having this wall of defenders while I'm casting all my OP abilities. Um, Also, I'm using Shadow instead of Cold or Bone. I did recently unlock Bone, which I'm sure could be quite useful. But that's the thing. The Bone ones are going to use themselves up very, very, very quickly. I would rather have enemies, or sorry, allies that are going to survive for longer. And the freeze is very useful, but I just figured let's just go Shadow and just really stun them and really hurt them. Because I don't think there was anything about freeze bonus damage in terms of my build, but there is a lot for stuns. And that's why with the warriors, I'm just going with skirmishers now, but I may choose defenders at some point. The reapers seem insane because they get bonuses against slows and stuns if you actually add that point there. It's just a tough call, guys. Now, I'll let you guys know about the golems if I can unlock the golems at level 25 if the quest is in the range. I guarantee it's only the first form of golem, not all three forms, so we're not going to have much selection there. But I will say, like, when you add that golem to this army, you're going to have yourself a really nice tank to draw attention and deal some really nice damage. As you go through, obviously, more and more materials, they're just stacking up as each character goes through, so you never really have to worry about anything like that. Yeah, as far as this build goes, as far as this character goes, I gotta say, Necromancer is by far my favorite so far. It tears through enemies like they're no other. Even at level 24 in like the high 20s, you're still just clearing enemies like they're nothing with just one, maybe two corpse explosions, and having the ability to use Blood Surge. Like I'm telling you, I'll respond to the person in the comments who put that because I wasn't sure I was going to use it until I picked up this, where the Nova echoes again. Yes, 70% less damage. I thought it was 70% of the damage. But still, a 30% secondary Nova can be extraordinarily useful at times. And I gotta be honest, I do love Blood Surge because there's times where you need corpses. And the other one, yes, it was nice for piercing through 1 to 2 enemies at a time, but if enemies are close, this is the move. I don't have many long range attacks with this due to the fact, well, obviously corpse explosion, but due to the fact that I went Blood Surge instead of the spear. But it does feel way more useful in terms of any AoE situation and even in terms of bosses for the healing that you receive. If you guys have any questions about the Necromancer build, what you guys might want to look for, what you guys are trying to do with this build, let me know in those comments down below. I'd be more than happy to help. This thing tears through anything as is, and for those of you guys who are planning to do the world boss, I'll be doing that world boss tomorrow and letting you guys know how Necromancer actually feels against that boss. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe. If you guys want to see a Druid video of the same level where we're talking about the level 25 build, let me know in those comments down below because I will be playing that class a lot tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great night.